Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Married to Medicine. Y'all know what y'all hear. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat, potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me on this channel. Subscribe to Anonymous Tea. Free to subscribe to my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. To copy, paste the link to these videos so it gets out to these algorithms. So in this video, it's going to be Married to Medicine primarily, and a little Roja adjacent, because news has come out that Apollo and his wife Shireen, or as I like to call Apollo, the ex-husband of Phaedra Parks, she has filed for divorce. She is alleging ABUSE. She is alleging cheating. And here's my thing with Shireen. I think that's her name. You knew what time it was when you decided to be pen pals with a convicted felon. I don't understand, and then the tapering thing that you did, you knew what time it was. You just wanted to one-up Phaedra, and you thought he was a prize. You thought Apollo was a prize just because his looks, just like many people find Apollo to be a prize, just because his looks, and they somehow think this is some type of a slight to Phaedra, right? So nonetheless, I see people wanting Phaedra to get back with Apollo, and I'm like, do y'all remember on Real Housewives of Atlanta when he was about to go to a jail, and they were arguing in the garage, and Apollo was on some threatening types of behavior? I knew then and there, no ma'am, no sir, I do not want Phaedra and Apollo back together. Yes, couples can look cute together, this and that, but this is the thing. If there is some underlying issues there, if there's some severe problems there and severe other things going on there, it is not worth spinning the block over. It just isn't. So that's that I got on that. I don't know why people are romanticizing Phaedra and Apollo. I mean, they're thinking of the glory years. Now, it's one thing if you just want them to see them both on TV as co-parents, as them getting along, as them being messy on a reality show. That's separate than them getting back together and entertaining all this other foolishness and everything else. And y'all know y'all gonna drag Phaedra talking about, you're gonna drag her anyways, right? So nonetheless, it just wouldn't be a good look. Next, we have to talk to, speaking of Phaedra, Dr. Heavenly crashing out. Once again, I think this is the third or fourth time. I've lost count, y'all. She's on her platform crashing out. If Phaedra tries to blame me for, this and that and this and that, it's gonna go nuclear. I'm gonna go insane and da da da. And it's like, what? What what are we talking about anymore? Here's the bottom line. Here's the issue. The issue is you, the entire cast, not Phaedra, the actual cast, fell out with Quad. Y'all were sick of Quad. Y'all thought you could get Quad kicked off the show. And so y'all brought in Phaedra, y'all brought in Sweet Tea, right? And you thought, if Quad were to come back, Sweet Tea and Quad can go back and forth, right? Except for the first season, didn't really go according to plan, right? And it was Phaedra who was more instrumental in filming scenes with Quad and everything else while she was on the outs with most of the group. So now that Quad is cool with most of the group, or, I don't know, y'all were not successful in getting her kicked off the show, you now are trying to backtrack. You now are trying to rewrite history. You now are trying to flip the narrative and blame somebody. And it's easiest to blame Phaedra because she's one of the newest cast members, but it doesn't make any sense because it's clear as day that most of y'all don't like her. So how could Phaedra orchestrate a meeting of the minds and try to get Quad kicked off the show when the goal in mind was you were hoping Phaedra would be Quad's replacement, and you were hoping with having Quad's ex-husband and his new wife on there that would fill the void. But once Phaedra gave y'all absolutely nothing and did nothing until she brought Apollo onto the reunion, then all of a sudden y'all want to switch up. Now all of a sudden y'all want to backtrack and y'all want to pretend like you've always loved Quad and this and that. And y'all got jealous because y'all saw all the opportunities, all the brand deals, all of the things that Phaedra was getting. You thought her Roja association was going to bring y'all something additional to the show, and it did not. It only elevated Phaedra's profile so much that she told y'all, thanks but no thanks, I'm going back to Roja. And y'all can't handle it. Primarily Dr. Heavenly, but you need to own, Dr. Heavenly, that you were not innocent, that you orchestrated or were a part of whatever y'all were trying to do to Quad. Y'all were sick of her. The only one who has kept it a buck about that has been Simone, and that's why I respect that Simone is not trying to beg and crawl down to her knees and beg for forgiveness and all this other foolishness with Quad, because it would be fake. It would be fake on her part, but a lot of y'all are being fake with Quad right now, and you're not keeping a buck with her. And the only reason you guys are coming together for this band against Phaedra nonsense is y'all are pissed that Phaedra didn't do what you wanted her to do on this show, which was to go after whomever, and it didn't go according to plan. So now you guys just think just continuing to attack is going to do something, and it is not. And it is not lost on me, Dr. Heavenly, you're BFFs with Carlos King, and Phaedra wants nothing to do with Carlos King, and still to this day will not go on a platform of Carlos King's and do an interview with him. So she sees through the BS, and she sees all the shade that you are throwing at her, and she's got some subliminals of her own, but she's keeping it mute and keeping it cute and saving it for the reunion like a smart person would do. And the jab about who makes more money or who's the highest paid, that is a tired and a lazy read, Dr. Heavenly. It truly is. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be somebody who has more than you. There's always going to be somebody who has less than you. And you don't know what all of these people, if they have other money tied up in investments and other properties and this and that. But the thing of it is none of your business. That's not a read. That is not a flex. Because here's how I look at it. Y'all are all on a reality show being messy for a check. So all of this, who gets paid or who makes the most money or whose career is paying the highest, none of that matters when you are all willing to go to a certain level for the sake of trying to go viral and have a moment on a reality TV show. So please miss me with that nonsense. Finally, we got to get to Sweet Tea. And the Sweet Tea situation, I'm on the fence because I see her point of view, but at the same token, my thing is, you had to know what you were signing up for on this reality TV thing. Now, what is my opinion? My opinion is the group was on the outs with Quad the same way they were on the outs with Mariah. The only difference was they were unsuccessful in getting Quad off their show. So they thought having Phaedra and having Sweet Tea would be enough to, have as replacements or whatever else. It didn't work. Quad came back. They had to pretend like, the things weren't as bad as it seemed. A lot of y'all started groveling back to Quad for whatever reason, and this is why I respect Simone, even though people throw shade at her and don't like her and say she's too loud. But I will give Simone this. Simone did not play that game. Oh, I'm just going to suck up to Quad and pretend everything's good. I'm going to apologize to her. No, Simone was pissed. She was pissed because she broke it down. She said Quad wasn't showing up at the time she was supposed to be. She's working as a physician. She's working as an OB provider. She is on call as an OB provider and all this and that. She doesn't have time to be waiting all day for Quad to be on some diva stuff, showing up hours late to film a scene for something. So I get it. If y'all are all, it doesn't matter how long y'all have known each other, how long y'all been on the show, there's an expectation to be professional. And I think, Simone got tired of the BS. She just wants to come into work and keep it moving and go. And not everybody is on that type of time. Now, if there's something else that I'm missing behind the scenes, then it is what it is. But that's just from what I understood, Simone's original issue was with Quad. And she had been saying this for a few years. that Quad, was on her own type of time as it pertained to filming scenes for the show. And I think she just got sick of the antics and got sick of the shenanigans. But nonetheless, as it pertains to Sweet Tea, were you used? Again, I think the plan, led by Dr. Heavenly, I don't care what she says, was to, get back at Quad. Feel like, hey, we can replace you. We can replace you with Greg's new wife, right? And, you guys were on the outs with her. I don't think Sweet Tea, did some of the things that maybe she was encouraged to do, because that's what happens when you guys, instead of being a reality show, you turn the show into an alliance and gang up on one person. I think that's lame. And you guys were not anticipating the amount of sympathy and support that Quad was receiving, because y'all did the same thing to Mariah. So some of y'all ran back with the tail between your legs to try to smooth things over with Quad. And then next thing you know, Sweet Tea's on the outs. And so now y'all trying to make it seem like it has to be Sweet Tea against Quad. But really, Sweet Tea doesn't have an issue with Quad. I think really what Sweet Tea doesn't realize is that her husband probably wanted to be back on the show to flex on Quad. But nonetheless, it's a conflict of interest. It kind of reminds me of JJ from Bell Collective, how he does not want So Gucci and Selena to be cool with each other, because he still has an issue with Selena. And I think this is the same thing with Greg. I don't know if he's mad that Quad left him. I don't know if he's mad that she moved on. I don't know what the underlying issue is. All I just remember was that volatile reunion that they had the last time that they were together on this show. But I definitely think he wanted to see Sweet Tea act a certain way and have a back and forth with Quad. And so as a result, Sweet Tea is accusing Toya of saying, hey, you want me and Quad to go to war with each other, and I'm not about that life. And I think Toya has since responded and said, H-E double no. Like now here's the thing, right? I don't think anybody outright is saying to Sweet Tea, you need to go to war with Quad. But what I think people are saying is, hey, in order for you to have a storyline, in order for you to have a certain amount of screen time, we're all in our own alliance now. We've all smoothed things over with Quad. So therefore, we need to pretend like we did not try to orchestrate to try to get her kicked off this show. So we need you to step in, and we need you to come in and act like you have all this beef with Quad and all these unresolved issues with Quad, and you don't even know Quad, right? Because everybody is playing the CYA game, because they don't want to get exposed, which brings me back to Dr. Heavenly. Y'all are trying all these stunts and all these shenanigans to go at people, but my thing is, you should have just kept it a buck. This was all about getting Quad off the show. The lie that Phaedra orchestrated this was nonsense. The foolishness of turning on Sweet Tea now is foolishness, because obviously you guys at the beginning were very supportive of Sweet Tea being on this show. So you guys were hoping that there was going to be a moment that her and Quad were going to have this drag out back and forth type of thing the whole time, and y'all could just sit back and eat y'all popcorn and not tell y'all realities. The problem is y'all got to contribute. And this nonsense where people are just going to be on the show to just go to war or all gang up on one person, or your failed coup to try to kick Quad off the show flopped and failed and didn't deliver. You guys are now trying to blame the new people, blame Sweet Tea and blame Phaedra for your failed attempt to get her off the show. For your failure to have her held accountable or be cussed out or whatever you were hoping to happen to her. So now all of y'all have aligned up and you've convinced her that it wasn't them, that they weren't the issue was Phaedra. And by extension, Sweet Tea? No. Now here's the thing too, Sweet Tea. You need to attend this reunion. Because here's the thing, you're up here talking about it's up in the air, it might be up and not stuck and all this and that, but here's the thing. You don't have the same type of clout that Mary from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has. You don't have the same type of clout that Kim Richards has from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You don't have the same type of clout that Karen Huger has from Real Housewives of Potomac. Meaning that they're legacy characters, meaning that they are OGs of the show. So they can't afford to skip a reunion here if they want to and still get the benefit of the doubt to come back on the show next season, because again, they know they're going to be the topic of conversation for not being there, and whatever the reason was that they weren't there can be fueled as a storyline for the following season. The issue is if you are specifically now on the show to basically be presented as an op to Quad or whatever else, if you go away, the show's going to move on. That's the whole thing, right? It sounds like you did not want to adhere to whatever assignment that was bestowed upon you, and you decided you wanted to try to go a different direction and tell your own type of reality and all this and that, and they are not happy that you did that. So therefore, everybody is trying to, like I said, CYA, and you and Phaedra, for whatever reasons, because you guys are new, are the fall guys. But the thing is that it's not really landing. I just wish that these people would just own that they were in an alliance. They failed getting Quad off the show. Quad came back or whatever, negotiator contract, whatever it was. Came back in full swing ahead, had a lot of support from the fans, and y'all, then some of y'all, were being phony and decided to run back to Quad, pretend there was nothing wrong, pretend that you were not in on the plan to get rid of her, and want to blame the new people. And then the other side is this back and forth with Sweet Tea. I honestly think it's your husband, Sweet Tea, that's instigating a lot of this, and some of your other cast members that instigated a lot of this for you to go at Quad. And again, another attempt to, them to sit back and watch and take zero accountability, zero responsibility, and they were going to plan to blame everything either on you or on Phaedra. But what the thing of it is that y'all were the ones that were doing the recruiting. Y'all recruited Phaedra and Sweet Tea to be on this show and wanted them to do certain things on this show. And because they decided to do their own thing, y'all got a problem. And that's what I'm not about. Just keep that a buck. Stop lying to Quad. Stop telling Quad a whole bunch of lies because y'all not woman enough to say what it is. Y'all were sick of her. Y'all were sick of her, the attention she was getting. Y'all were sick of her star power, whatever else, and y'all wanted her gone. It didn't work. So now you wanted Phaedra and Sweet Tea to be your little minions and be in on the attack. It made no sense. Make it make sense. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post a content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.